The US attacks on Iran began shortly after Washington revoked a waiver that allowed Iran to sell its oil under the interim peace agreement. The decision by the Treasury Department followed attacks on 3 tankers transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's foreign ministry says it holds the US government responsible for what it calls repeated violations of the Memorandum of Understanding on ending the war. Under the agreement reached in Switzerland last month, the US issued a waiver on Iranian oil exports that were meant to last until next month. Well, let's get the view from Washington. Here's Hanna reporting from the White House on the Trump administration's response to those attacks in the Strait of Hormuz.
US has retaliated on both the economic and military fronts in response to what it says are renewed Iranian attacks on shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Shortly after the US said Iran opened fire on 3 vessels in the strait, the Treasury Department issued a statement saying that it was reimposing the sanction on the export of Iranian oil. Now, these sanctions had been waived with the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the US and Iran, which was to provide the skeleton for negotiations to take place on issues like control of the Strait of Hormuz. In addition, the removal of the US military blockade there. But the US Treasury Department says that this is conditionally based, that Iran has not reached its obligations in terms of that memorandum, and as such, it would remove the waiver on those sanctions, imposing them again with effect from the 17th of this month. On the military front, the US launched what Central Command calls powerful strikes at Iranian targets, most associated with control of that Strait of Hormuz. The issue here is that the US has been guiding ships to take the southern route, which it says it protects. Iran is not granting passage to any ships that do not take the northern route, which is the one that it prefers. Meanwhile, for shipping, they cannot take the traditional route through the center because it's believed it is still mined. But the whole issue here is still interpretation of that Memorandum of Understanding, which each says the other side has broken. Hanna, Al Jazeera, Washington.